Welcome to the first practical session. Today we are going to write a Python program using function to print the Fibonacci series up to n numbers. So let us first look at what is Fibonacci series and then we will start writing the program. Now in the Fibonacci series it is assumed that there are two elements are there. First element happens to be 0. Second element is 1. The third element is obtained by summing these two elements. In other words, if you add the first two element, the previous two element, that is 0 plus 1, we are going to get the third element. How to get the fourth element? In order to get the fourth element, you have to add the previous two element, that is 1 plus 1. You are going to get the answer as 2. How to get the next element? To get the next element, you are supposed to sum the previous two element, that is 1 plus 2 happens to be 3. You are going to do that. In the same way, it's going to go with 2 plus 3 is 5 and 5 plus 3 it's going to be 8. So the new element is obtained by summing the previous two element. So to get the next element, sum the previous two element. So this is what is the Fibonacci series. Now how do we build up that series? So to get the idea of the Fibonacci series, we take two variables, say A and B. We have already told you that the first two elements of this series are already defined. That means the first two element must already be known to you. So A equal to 0 and B equal to 1 are the two elements that are given already there. So any Fibonacci series, it will start with the first two elements, that is 0 and 1. So let us let us make A carry the value 0 and B will carry the value 1. How to get the next element? So because A is 0 and B is 1, if you add A plus B, you are going to get the next element. So this is what you are going to do. So if A is 0 and B is 1, add A plus B, you are going to get the next element. Then what we are supposed to do it? Then what we are supposed to do it is A is now pointing to 0, make A point to the next element. So in other words, make the A point to the place where B was locating and make B point to the new element. What is the new element in this case is 1. How to get the next element? Again same A plus B. What is A plus B? A is 1 now and B is 1 now. 1 plus 1 happens to be 2. So this is the new element. How to get the next element? Again make A point to the place where B is pointing. In other words, get the value of A equal to the value of B. Whatever is the value of B, give it to A and make B get the new value, that is point to the new value. So B is going to point to the next element. How do you get this element? When the A is pointing to the new location and B is pointing to the new location, after that add them together. So A plus B. So A is 2 now, our A is 1 now, B is 2, 1 plus 2 happens to be 3. What is the next step? Make A get the value of B. What is the value of B? B is 2. So make A get the value of B and make B point to the new value. Okay. So initially, let us go back to the first stage. A will be pointing to 0, or in other words, A will have the value 0. Then A will have the value 1. Then A will get the value 1. Then again A will get the value 2, and so on and so forth. How many such element need to be tracked? We are supposed to track n number of elements. So what is n now? If n happens to be 5, that means to say that A is 0 first, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So up to 5 elements. What is the meaning of n? N means how many elements need to be printed. So if n is 5, you print 5 elements. If n happens to be 7, then how many elements you need to print? This is the first element, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh. And if you want the eighth element, add 5 plus 8, that happens to be 13, and then display it. So we will print the value of a. How many values we are going to print? Up to the value n. So if n happens to be 3, then we are going to print only the first 3 elements. If n is 5, then we will print the first 5 elements. So that is the meaning of saying n. So we have these idea with us. Let us go to the the Python programming. So I'm going to use the VS Code. Again, there is no need that you have to use the VS Code. You can definitely use ideally for your work. But I feel that VS Code is, I'm a bit comfortable with the VS Code because it's happened to be an IDE. So if at all you want to use the VS Code, what you are supposed to do it is you are supposed to open a location where you are going to save all your files. So your teacher would have told you where you are supposed to store the file. So click on the file and then open the folder where you are supposed to store the file. So I'm going to click on file and open folder. I will go to the D drive, and in my D drive I have the PUC folder here, which contains all the programs that I'm going to demonstrate. I'm going to select this folder. If you click on the first icon over here, it is going to open up and it's going to show you that you are in the PUC folder. So it's going to show you that you are here in the PUC. If you keep it outside, it is going to just go. So just to get your mouse pointer here, you notice it comes, and as you go near there, it is there. If you go out, it just going to vanish. So get it near PUC and you will find the first one, new file. Suppose if you find it too difficult to try that thing, click on the file and then you say new file. It is one and the same. Click on file and new file. But most of them will be using this option because it is easier. After you practice a bit, you will notice that it is much easier to use this way. So I'm going to click on new file and I'm going to give it a name as a1.py because it's going to be the first exercise, and just press enter on your keyboard. So you are going to see a file called as a1.py getting created. You can click on this icon again to collapse it. So if you click once, it's going to come. If you click it again, it's going to go out. Now let us write the function, because they said that write a program using a function. So we are going to use a function here. So let us create a function. We are going to define a function. Let me define the function as a Fibo. It says how many elements we are supposed to print. So it is already told that we are supposed to print up to n number of elements. So let us supply that n value to our function. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to type n here. Let me just do this one so that you can see it here. So I'm going to print n value. So this is what is given there. We are supposed to print n Fibonacci elements. So that is that n here. So let us start with the first thing. What is the first thing that we started with? We assumed that initially a will be 0 and b will be 1. That is the initial condition. Let us put that condition here. So I'm going to say a comma b is 0 comma 1. So what is the meaning of this? Is a is given the value 0, a will get the value 0 and b will get the value 1. So I'm directly assigning two values there. Okay, then what we are supposed to do it, we are supposed to print the value of a, how many times, n times. For that we are going to use a for loop. So I'm going to use the for. Generally we use the underscore because the counter variable is not required. If you find that it is too difficult for you to get that underscore, it is not minus, it is shift and minus. So that is what is the meaning of saying underscore. I'm going to use a x variable here because that variable will not be used up anywhere. So I'm just taking that one variable. For loop says you are supposed to use a variable I I have nothing to do with that variable, because for loop cannot work with that variable. I'm just saying that let the variable be x. Anyhow, I'm not going to use that variable, and I'm going to say in the range n. What is the meaning of this is the x value will start from the beginning up to n. So what is n in this case? N, suppose if n is 5, it will start from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to n. If n is 5, it will stop when n becomes 5. Then what is that we are supposed to print? As told before, we will print the value of a. So a will be initially 0, then a will point to 1, then a will point to 1, and so on. So whatever is the value of a, we are going to print that value. How can I print the value of a? I'm going to use the print function, and I'm going to say I will print. Generally, you know very well, once you print a value, it will go to the next line. I don't want it to go to the next line, so I'm going to say end with the space. So there is a space here, there is a space here. Don't just put two double equal. So in between there is a space. What is the meaning of this is after one element, let me just go over here. After one element there is a space in between. After one element there is a space in between. There is a space in between. So that is what I am saying here. Let me just come back to here. That is what I am saying here. After one element, after you print one value of a, so for example when you print the value as 0, put space after that, then put the next element. So simple as that. What is after printing the value of a, what is that you are supposed to do? You are supposed to make a, let me go over here, point to the next element. A will point to the location where b is pointing, and b will point to the new value. That is, what is the new value? New value is a plus b. So that is what is the new value. After this, what will happen? A will point to the location b, and b will point to the a plus b. So this is it. So a plus b is the new value, and a will point to the location b. So how can I write this one? So again I'm going to say a comma b. A will take the value of b, and b will take the value a plus b. So this is what I'm writing here. So what is the meaning of this? A will take point to the location. A will take the value of b. B will take the value of a plus b. So that is the meaning of it. So a will take the value of b, and b will take the value of a plus b. So this is how we are writing the function. So we have written the function. Let us come back and let us accept the value of n. We don't know what is n here. N can be 1, n can be 10, n can be 20, n can be anything. So let us ask the user what is the value of n. So I'm going to say n is equal to, because I want a integer value, I will convert everything into integer, and I'm going to say input, and I'm going to say enter the value of n. Instead of saying enter the value of n, it is going to be a very lengthier one. I'm going to say enter the limit. What is the meaning of saying a limit? See, n acts as a limit. So if n is 5, we are going to print 5 elements. If n is 10, we are going to print 10 elements. So n acts as a limit. What is the last count that we are supposed to go? So that is what is the meaning of saying limit. So we generally use that in our technical thing. So it's the upper limit. Anyhow, you're studying the mathematics, so you are studying about integration and so on. So limits, what is the last value is going to be. Let us call the function fibo, and we are going to supply the value n to this function. So that is what we are supposed to do it. Okay. So let me just save this function, save this program. How do you save this program? Easily is very simple. You just press ctrl, that is control and es, to save the file. So this is very simple to save, control es. So simple as that. Okay. Select it and just run it. It is going to ask me what is the limit. I'm going to say print the first 5 element. I'm going to press this one, and you will notice that this is the first element. A is 1, a is 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 elements are printed. So that is the meaning of it. So This is I have done it in the VS Code. What if you have the idle in your college? Not no need to worry. Idle is also a good editor, but I'm comfortable with the VS Code. That is why I'm using VS Code. Again, this is not an ad for VS Code. Let us go and let us try to use the idle itself to build the program. How do I do that thing? So you have the idle with the you. If you don't get the idle, just search for the idle. Just type idle and you get the idle over here. Okay, and just open it up. I have already opened it. Click on the file and click on new file. Okay, now just assume that I will retype it in here. So just assume that I will retype just because it's going to take otherwise a longer time. Just assume that I typed it. I took a lot of trouble in typing that thing. After that you have to save it. How do you save it? File and save. You notice Control S again for saving. So file and save, and go to the location where your teacher has told you to save it. So in my case, I will go to D drive and PUC, because I have already created A1 in the VS Code. I'm going to just say, because I'm doing it two times, I'm going to say A1 A dot py. Why A1 A dot py? Because I already created A1 there. So just remember, you can't have a file with the two file with the same name. So I'm just have to change the names somehow. Otherwise, it is very difficult to identify. So I'm going to just do this one. I've saved it, and you click on the run and just say run module. So it's going to ask you the same thing. Enter the limit. I'm going to say limit is 1. Just print the first element of the Fibonacci series, and you know very well first element of the Fibonacci series is 0. If you run it again, and if you say just two element of the Fibonacci series, these are the default values, zeros and 1. If you say run again, and if you say three element of the Fibonacci series, it is going to be 0, 1, 1, and so on so forth. So this is how you are going to create a simple application. What I have done is I have made a shorter version of it. If you compare the one that is given by the pre-university board, it's going to be a lengthier one, whereas this one is a short one. When you have a very short program, there is a lot of advantage. One of the advantages, you have to write very less things, so you can quickly write it. As well as if somebody asks you to execute this program, you can quickly type this program and execute it. So that is why try to minimize writing, as well as try to uh, speed up the execution so that you can quickly complete the practical. That's all in this exercise. Thank you for your interest. We will meet again in the other exercise. Thank you.